The rains have been and will always be a blessing from God, as the advantages are numerous. For the farmers, rain is always a welcome development, as it helps in the growth of crops, provide water for plants, provide drinking water, recycles water from all over the world to the ground, washes away dust and dirt, and cleans the air as it nourishes man, among others. Despite the blessings associated with the rains, it equally comes with attendant challenges, which may include floods, erosion, and destruction, among others. For Lagos State, a critical feature of her topography is that it is essentially made of low-lying terrain up to 0.4% below the sea level. The reality of this is that naturally this feature has been a source of huge drainage challenge for the state. Hence, Lagos is always vulnerable to perennial flooding. The earlier Lagosians understand this fact, the better for us all. While the present administration is not unaware of this challenge, as it has been experienced several times in the state, the Ambode administration has continued to step up efforts at mitigating flooding and its effects on Lagosians. This was because the administration is committed to a cleaner and safer environment and quality public health through implementation of community-based solid waste management. The administration has also stepped up efforts in vegetal control, environmental sanitation, control of environment pollution, and beautification. These measures include massive construction and expansion of drainage channels, the silting and excavation of silts to dump sites, regular repair and clearing of drainages, canals, and collector drains across the state. Not forgetting the roles of good roads in curbing flooding, the administration has embarked on the reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads across the state, with the ongoing constructions at Ile-Epo in Abule-Egba on the busy Agege Motor Road, also Itolo Colonel Street in Surulere and Oyinkan Abayomi Drive in Ikoyi, among others. Lagos State is indeed ready for the rains. As a responsive government, notice has been sent out to citizens who live in flood-prone areas to vacate the areas in order to save their lives and properties. It should be noted that governance is a two-way system, and all involved is expected to play their parts to make Lagos State flood-free and livable for all. It therefore behoves the citizenry to comply with all regulations, as we cannot continue to pay lip services to the sanctity of human lives. All stakeholders should put up with a united front in ensuring that all human activities that aid flooding are stopped. Being a natural phenomenon, man is yet to discover scientific mechanism that is capable of stopping rain. However, it is still within the capacity of man to mitigate some of the adverse effects of rainfall. It is in view of this that Lagosians should effectively collaborate with the state government in order to ensure that this beautiful gift of nature does not become a curse to us. If we all do the right things, together we can mitigate the effects of flooding in the state.
What are the predictions for this year? Are we expecting heavy rainfall or light? What are we expecting?
This state, through this ministry, has always been known to be well prepared for the seasons, particularly the rainy season, because we're a coastal state. In fact, we have a group of experts here, whereby other coastal states come to us for advice and all the rest. As per what we've done, we have pre-season preparations, and during the rainy season, we have what we do, the kind of things we do around, and post-raining season, we still have things we do. Like the pre-rainy season time, we have, by December, we have started desilting some drains and widening some of our channels right from December. Up to now, they are still doing it. I was on the inspection tour just about last week, I went to Dwajasa, Idera, in Ojo, Signal Barracks in Ajegunle, many of them like that. Arojobe in Koshofe, the system one channel, and that is Odoyalaru. We are desilting all of them, and we are dredging some of them. And this will continue until the rainy season. And even after the rainy season, we still go ahead and still clear our drains because, as you know, we still have this problem of our people, some of our people dumping their refuse in the drains. So after the rainy season, we still go after this and clear them wherever they are, They are taken from one point or the other to another point. And we go after them and clear them. That's what we do basically. As per how much of rain we are expecting this year, from the National Meteorological Organization, the federal level, we've been told that we have light rains this time around. They won't be so heavy. But whatever it is, we are prepared for the worst. Even if typhoons come our way, God forbid, we are ready to manage it. We've done a lot of dredging, and as per talking to our people, I've been on so many programs on TV, radio, I've had talking to our people about our habits, how to properly dispose our refuse, how to bag them very well and put them in a particular place, not in our drains, in front of our house, in our bins, so that Loma can come after them. There is nothing, in fact, a lot of people are not paying Loma charges, PSP charges. Government has been, paying, subsidizing this, because there's what we call bridging. This is what we pay the PSP operators, because we know that people are not paying them so well, So I don't see why they should go and drop inside the drains with what government is doing. You understand? And these charges are very, very minimal. Some people pay 200 naira. Some pay 1,000. They are not exorbitant at all. And I don't see why people cannot afford it, and people will still be able to afford community uniforms for parties, for all the rest. And yet, you won't be able to pay for PSP. We should all know that the consequence of all these things will come back to us. When you clog the drains with your refuse, there will be flooding. Flood will destroy houses, will kill people, will destroy your items. You will lose money. You will lose life. So we are saying we should just be cautious and be responsible in our ways of handling our refuse. We've done much as far as the government is concerned, and we are still doing more. We have, in fact, now, we have even mobilized, there's a private company we have just mobilized. It's called Drain Dogs. They are going to go after the tertiary drains all over the state. They are going to clear our tertiary drains, because we know that it is not about primary and secondary drains alone. The tertiary drains, if they are blocked within the street, there will be flood in our streets. So we have commissioned them to go after these drains all over Lagos State. They are working actively. In fact, they have started uploading what they are doing on our WhatsApp, and we are going to start giving to LTV8 media houses that we have relationship with to broadcast all these things and see. Even if you have black spots, we are ready for you. Escalate it to us. We will try and do them and clear them. We are ready for the rains. In Lagos, we are.
Okay. Now, for an emerging mega city, you always have challenges like people that build on drains. I mean, because over time, for years, it's been a challenge in Lagos State. How are we tackling this now?
We have declared zero tolerance to people that are building near our drains. not to talk of those ones building on our drains. We will not take it. If you build on our drains and you are going to cause flooding, we will come after you. We'll demolish the house. Of recent, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I went on a helicopter ride just to inspect our drains from the air. I saw a very beautiful Lagos from up there with some areas that I know we have to really work on. People along Ajegunle and all those canals there, System 5, I saw from up there that they are dumping into their canals. It is not about those of us that are in government, but about us that live in that area. We are bringing trouble, and we don't want this trouble because as a responsible government, we don't want anybody to commit suicide. By dumping in your drains, it is suicidal. That's the way I see it. Because water we always want to find its level. And it will go to all places. You understand? So if you are building on the drain, we will not take it. There are parameters we follow. And this is banned by the law. You have to, in these our big drains, you leave 25 meters both left and right. In those ones that are concretized, you leave 15 meters by the side. If you're built into this right of way of this canal, we are coming after you. Even if you're a market, I am coming after you. The man that is building down temporary Alade market there, I have said that they should go and take it out. You can't build beside the canal, no matter what you have, because when the trouble comes, it's going to be, people will start saying, what has government been looking at? We will not allow you to commit suicide. I've said it, we won't. So we are going after them. And we don't have any apology for doing that.
Okay. We all know governance is a two-way thing.
Yeah.
Both sides are involved so that things will work out. Okay, you talked about that you've been on TV and radio to enlighten people. What's the feedback like? Are people actually buying into this? Do you think
yes,
it's
of
actually
course.
working out?
You see, let me tell you, I was in a place that is, I think it belongs to Ifakotetun. It's around Bagada. If you are coming from Ogudu and you are going to Antony, that bend there before you go to 3rd Million Bridge, the bend that will take you to Antony. That community there, His Excellency passed through there and he didn't like what he saw, and he directed that I should go there and do some sanitization there. And I went there, and I felt so bad too because I saw a very dirty environment, and I went with everybody, my peers, all the directors, and we engaged the people there. I took my time. I spoke to them. I told them so many things that, look, all government is asking you to do is to own your environment. If you own your environment, you plant up your environment, you are clean about it, a stranger will not come into that area. He will know that these people are organized and they are probably watching and they are at alert. But when the whole place is so dirty, you will know that you are careless and you are not concerned about your environment. In these days of security concerns, we want you as a government to own your environment, plant up those environments, and we spoke to them at length about this. And do you know what? About a week or 2 weeks thereafter, these people, out of their own pockets, built a beautiful fence around the place, and I saw them planted trees, flowers around it. I was so happy. My intention is to allow those plants to grow and visit them again and probably show them the picture before and after. They've done well. I'm so happy about it. I am saying it on TV, and I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them. And that is all we want everybody to do. But now, what do you see? People don't care about the environment. And they should know, and this is what I say everywhere I go, environment is everything, everything is environment. Our life has to do with environment. In fact, the most critical thing for life, for us to be alive, is oxygen we breathe in. It's produced by these trees. So we have to look after them. We have to make them flourish. We have to make them look well and grow well. We don't have to cut them off all the time. We are cutting our lifeline away if we do that. The carbon dioxide that we bring out as waste, the plants will take it up and use it and purify our environment. So we must look after and cultivate these plants for us to live well here and to also bequeath a good environment to our children.
Okay. Last year, Lagos State was actually, should I say, singled out by the federal government as one of the states that was actually prepared for the rains. And well, that was a plus for Lagos State anyway. Now, can we confidently say that we can sustain that tempo in Lagos State?
Yes, 150%. We can confidently, and I'm saying so, that we are ready for the race in this state. It's a system we have perfected over time. It can only get better, it cannot get worse. We are not stopping at what we met on ground. We are going, in the next 6 months, even waste management will not be the same. Flood control measures will not be the same again. We are really going at them. We have seen that there is another level we should take all these things to, and we want to take them there. We have said that Lagos should be comparable to any city in the world. And that is the aim of this government, under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. And that is what we are driving at. So that you will not meet the kind of preparation that we had last year, oh, forget it. We have more than what we had last year. And we just pray that God will not allow bad weather situation to come our way.
Lagos is a mega city.
Yes.
And of course, if you refer to somewhere as a mega city, you expect challenges. And one of these challenges is environmental nuisance, which is not peculiar to Lagos State alone. Anyway, it's you find in every growing city. Now, apart from clearing the drains and all those the things you have mentioned earlier, how is Lagos State planning to tackle these challenges? What are being put in place? How do we intend to sustain it for years to come?
We have to enforce our laws. We have to advise our people to live responsibly. If you go against the law and you know that there is punishment for it, and that punishment will be meted out to you, I think it will deter a lot of people from doing it. We are doing a lot of urban regeneration, rehabilitation. We are going after those environmental abuses around us. We are really showing our people that we are developing, and we are still going to develop it more. Zero tolerance to all these nuisances. We have shown that we have tried to show our people the way forward and what we are trying to achieve, why we need to achieve what we are trying to achieve, and the benefit to us as a people. That it's about us, it's about the way we live, in this environment we live in. It's not about aesthetics alone. It's about our life, our life, the way we live, and how to sustain the human race. Because if you make it so bad, this environment might not support life again. and we still want it to support life. So we are doing all this, and all we need to do is to make sure that we make it a way of life for our people.
Can we now link that to the newly established mobile court?
Mobile courts, yes.
Can we link that to?
Yes. We want to enforce our laws. We want to show people, if you go across, if you cross the line of disobedience, that we will meet you at the border of that line. And if you do, the courts will handle you. And the punishment that is supposed to be meted out to whoever has gone wrong will be meted out to you. And so therefore, people will now know that we are serious about enforcement, and it will deter them from going against the law. And I think those mobile courts are highly welcome, and they are highly needed. And I'm so happy about them because they have started putting some people in check.
What do you want to tell the citizens? This is what you should do, as in we emphasize. This is what you should do. This is what you should not do.
I just want to tell them that, see, the environment we are talking about has to do with our life. I've spoken about how trees are the one giving us one of the critical items needed for life, oxygen. It's manufactured by the trees. How they take away carbon dioxide we emit as waste. How they take it up and use it. And we have spoken about why people should not dump into our drains. It will block these drains and water will come into your homes, into your areas. Water will spoil the road that we have built with hundreds of millions of naira going on into billions. When you don't allow water to flow freely on them, it spoils those roads. Water will destroy properties. Some houses will collapse because we have flooding. You understand? And the area will be ruined. And we have spoken about how to make, good, hygienic environment, a way of life by our people. Dispose of your refuse the normal way. Bag them, dispose them in your bins. Every house must have a dustbin. I told you we are doing we are reforming the way we manage our waste. And I assure you, every household will have a bin in this state. We are going to start from their homes to start teaching them how to sort our waste. We want to show our people that waste is money. It is money. We can even containerize this waste and sell it to other nations that want to turn it into something else, if we can package it well.